welcome back to the Jacked Up Fantasy Football League Week 13 preview show. Flying solo this evening because Zach is under the weather and he couldn't make it. So Zach, hope you're feeling better. It is halftime of the Cavs Heat game Thursday night. The Heat are up by 19 points, blowout as expected actually. I didn't think the Cavs could hang in there with the Heat because there are a bunch of nobodies playing there. But hey, Bubba, only there were farmer stands at the game, so good for you, man. Hope you're enjoying the blowout. I'm going to get a little under the weather too as well here, it looks like. Week 13 preview show, flying solo. Let's go right into these games. I'm not going to spend too much time on games that have no meaning whatsoever. So the first Who Cares game of the week is the Eliminators and the Cocoa Puffs. Haven't looked at the matchups, don't really care. I know that the Breeze plays against Cincinnati, so the combination of Colston and Breeze should probably be enough to win this game. For Cocoa Puffs, I think he's got Matt Ryan going against Tampa Bay. But just again, who really cares about these two guys? I got to pick somebody. I'm going to pick Jim because I think Randy's team sucks. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Again, his matchups favor him. But again, I spent 15 seconds too long in that game. Let's start talking about games that actually have some meaning here. The Prime Timers against the Frosty Paws. This is actually a big game because Frosty Paws can still make the playoffs, but they have to win their next two games, hope that Ryan loses his last game and Jake loses both of his games, and then it goes down to tiebreakers. So they can all end up somehow 7-7, and then it goes by point scores. So he has been eliminated from the wild card race, but Andy has a chance to the division at 5-7. For this game here, I think Chris Johnson's going to rebound. He had no points last week. It was the worst game of his career. I think against Jacksonville's defense, their run defense is actually not bad. Their pass defense isn't that good. So I think they should probably use him more in the passing game. And I think Chris Johnson has a bigger game here. Cutler against the Lions. I mean, that should be a matchup that favors Cutler there. But, I look at Frosty Paws, man, and I'm going to take the Frosty Paws here, Ryan, because you got Phillip Rivers going against Oakland. You got the Chargers defense going up against Oakland. Knowshon Marino's playing some good football. He's playing the Chiefs. Again, not a great matchup, but he's been playing good. And Jamal Charles is playing, of course, the Broncos. So I just think that this team is peaking at the right time. It might be a little too late. He just changed his team name to that. I think it was too late something. But I think Andy wins this game. I think Andy makes this race interesting. But again, if Jake beats T-Mac Attack, it'll be all for nothing, Andy. You're playing for pride, basically. But you never know. I mean, T-Mac has lost 11 games in a row. He's due to win. And with Jake, of course, he can choke. The pressure's on him to win the division now, and you know what? I can see him choking because that's Jake. So again, I like Andy in that game. I just think the matchups favor. Bulldogs, High Flyers. The Bulldogs have wrapped up their division last week. I think he's going to try to tweak his lineup a little bit the next couple of weeks and try to get the best 9 players to start the playoffs to figure out who's the best 9. But I'm going to take the High Flyers here. Only because Bulldogs have nothing to play for but stats. They won the division. It doesn't really matter who you play. And you're not going to play the Archon Tigers, so you're going to probably play, the wild card most likely, obviously. Or actually, you're not going to play the wild card. Most likely, you're going to play the winner of the Central Division there, Mark. But you got Peyton Manning going against Dallas. It's a good matchup for you. Peyton Hillis is going against the Dolphins. That should be, a decent matchup, but the Dolphins do have a good running game. And trying to think, of course, the stud, Dwayne Bowe, who the last 6 weeks, I think, has 11 touchdowns. The guy's on fire. He's been the best fantasy receiver this year, especially the last 6 weeks. But he's playing at home against Denver, a team that gives up a lot of passing yards. So I can see Dwayne Bowe once again scoring a lot of points. So, Mark probably will win this game, but again, it means really nothing for him. I think High Flyers somehow squeak out a victory. Serve Destroyers and T-Mac Attack, we talked about this game a little bit already. T-Mac has lost 11 straight. I think he's due to win, but I just don't see it. He's got Brady going against the Jets defense. It's going to be probably cold. I think it might be snowing in Foxborough on Monday night. So I know he's used to playing in those conditions, but I just can't see. I think, the Jets had his number last game they played, like week 2 of the season, and that was the Randy Moss. I think that the Jets defense is going to show up and shut down New England. New England may win. I just don't think Brady's going to have a big game, in my opinion. Danny Woodhead's in his lineup. He's got both the Dolphins running backs starting against pretty good run defense by the Browns. So, again, I think Jake wins his 8th game of the season, which is the first time he's ever done that. He has never, ever finished the season above 500. His best ever finish is 7-7. So this is shaping up to be Jake's best season so far. And of course, it's not just about winning your 8th game, Jake, or winning the division. It's also about, obviously, winning the trophy and engraving your name on there. So, for you, I know that's a big accomplishment, and you definitely have not been acting like you've been there before. But I think that you're playing the worst team in the league, and I think if you lose, it'll be a huge upset. You got Castle, who had 4 touchdowns last week, going up against Denver at home. Should be a good matchup for him. And you got Deshaun Jackson going tonight, against a very, very bad Texans secondary. So he should have a pretty big game. You got the Eagles defense, so between Jackson and your defense, hopefully you'll get some points tonight. I'm not sure what the score of the game is. I haven't even checked it because I don't have NFL Network because Comcast fucking sucks. But I think Jake wins his 8th game. That will be his 6th straight victory. Nice little run that Jake's putting together here in the second half. And again, if he wins, he eliminates Andy for the playoffs. So, of course, A's going to be rooting for T-Mac, but tough task here for T-Mac to break his 11-game losing streak against the hottest team in the league, by winning streak at least. Farmers Tan and Archon Tigers. Again, here's a consistent team in Zach, 10-2. Farmers Tan at 6-6, lost 4 straight games. I think the matchups, once again, favor Archon Tigers, but I think the Farmers Tan is going to win because I think Zach's going to let his cousin win to stay in this race. I think if he makes the playoffs, Bubba Hernandez, he is the weakest of the teams remaining to make the playoffs. So I think Zach would rather play him than play a team like the Prime Timers or Serve Destroyers or Playmakers or TNT. Teams that have shown they can score a lot more points than Bubba. I think Bubba's averaging like 80 points a game the last couple of weeks, which is not enough. So I think Bubba wins, whatever, upset special, but who really cares? Zach's already clinched the division, he's clinched the playoff spot, and I don't think he really cares. I can see him resting guys and getting ready for the playoffs. The game of the week, the Playmakers and TNT. Again, not because it's me and I'm hosting the show and I control the video board here. I think these are the 2 teams that are tied for the wild card. So this is going to be, I think, the best game of the week. Hopefully, the game of the week, and hopefully, I win this game because TNT has had my number throughout the years. We've been division rivals since we started this thing 5 years ago, and he has had my number. I lost to him in week 2, 145 to 130, so it was a high-scoring affair, but I still lost. But, TNT is scoring a lot of points. That's what worries me is, last week I only scored 77, but the last couple of weeks before that, I put up monster points. I need to have, obviously, a monster week to beat TNT. And by the way, once again, congratulations. I mentioned this at the Week 12 recap show, but I'll do it again. Congratulations to my boy TNT getting married last weekend. It was a fun time, good wedding. He is currently on his honeymoon in Punta Cana, and he actually emailed me from his resort that he has access to the internet. So he'll be able to check his lineup in case he has to make some last-minute roster moves. But hopefully you're having a good time, TNT. You'll be watching this when you get back from your honeymoon. Hopefully at that point when you come back, I will be 8-5 and you'll be 7-6, looking up at the wild card standings. But again, even whoever loses this game is still not out of it. They still have a chance to make the wild card, but of course, it'll be a little harder. But whoever wins this game obviously is in much better shape. So, I'm hoping to win this game. I got Vic going tonight against a very bad defense. So I need a lot of points from Vic. I need about 35 points from Vic, about 10 points from Akers, and I need them to shut down Arian Foster, the leading rusher in the league this year. That happens, and I'm up like 45-6 or 45-8 after tonight's game. And again, I haven't checked the score because I don't have NFL Network. But if I'm able to score that many points between my kicker and my quarterback, I think that I'm in good shape for the rest of the week. I picked up Seattle's defense. Hopefully they'll give me some points against Carolina. So tough matchup again. TNT with Rodgers and Jennings and Arian Foster. He's got playmakers on his team. I like the Felix Jones matchup against the Colts. I think he's going to have a big game with Marion Barber out. So it's going to be tough, man. But you know what? I'm going to give you my best effort in my A game. I did not bring my A game last week against the back-to-back champion. I think we're going to regroup, and I think we pull out this victory. And I'm going to avenge my loss from week 2. Tough 2 weeks to go here. Again, six teams. 6 teams are still fighting for 2 spots. Good luck to everyone this week, except for all of those teams I just mentioned, except for me, of course. All 5 of those teams that are still in it. So I'm rooting for underdogs here, man. I'm rooting for guys like, Andy. I'm rooting for T-Mac. I'm rooting for, who else? Obviously, I'm in this case, I guess I'm rooting for Zach to win, even though I think he's going to help his cousin stay in the race. So good luck to everyone except for the 5 teams that are in it with me for the wild card race. And we're actually going to be at the Browns-Dolphins game. Zach, Jake, myself, T-Mac Attack, we will all be down in Miami watching the Browns, and hopefully the Browns can pull off a victory here because we're 0-2 this year watching these guys live. And we lost in Jacksonville, we lost in Tampa, so hopefully they can pull out a victory in Miami and not go 0-3 in this little Florida 2010 tour. So go Browns, go Playmakers, go Eagles tonight. As far as the Cavs, they're getting blown out at halftime. So, but LeBron James is still a punk. That's all the time I have. I'm missing my co-host here. Hopefully I'll have him next week when we talk about the last week of the season. Peace out.